Hey everyone, and welcome to our March WebinEAR. We're here live at the Utah Parent Center. I'm Stephanie McVicker. I'm the Programs Manager for the EDI program, or the Early Hearing Detection Intervention Program at the Utah Department of Health. We have three wonderful guest speakers here today, and we're going to start off with Stephanie Morgan from the Utah School for the Deaf and Blind Parent-Infant Program.
Hello everyone, I'm Stephanie Morgan. I'm the director for the Parent-Infant Program, and we call it PIP. And we're under Utah Schools for the Deaf and Blind. We serve just the deaf kids, or hard of hearing kids, all over the state of Utah. We serve all children from birth to age 3, and we cover the entire state of Utah. We work with EDI to make sure that all of the families get services from us. And we also work with early intervention agencies, and every area has a local early intervention agency that we work with. So we can serve kids that are just not only deaf, but also maybe they have other disabilities, such as they need a nurse, or they need physical therapy, or need speech therapy. And so we collaborate with the early intervention agencies to help these kids. Our goal is to have every child succeed in life. We want them to have a strong connection with their family. We want parents to be able to communicate with them. We want them to succeed academically, socially, emotionally. We want to serve the entire family and the whole child. So let me talk about our services. All of our services are free. If you just have PIP, we provide all of our services for free. There's no cost for them. First, we have home visits from a parent advisor, that is a licensed teacher who has a degree in deaf education, and that person will come to your home up to 3 times a month to help with language development. You also have the option of teleintervention with any of our services, and that's where you meet with the person through online, and we talk about and also help develop language through online. We have an LSL specialist, and that stands for Listening Spoken Language, and our specialist has her ABT, her auditory verbal therapy, and she provides in-person or through teleintervention services to help children develop their listening and spoken language. We also have an ASL specialist. She creates ASL classes online and in person. And we also have deaf mentors in Utah. These are deaf adults, and they're all diverse, just like every deaf person is. These deaf mentors go to the home again about 3 times a month and help support ASL development for the family so they can model that for their child. We also have several other resources that are not available in every city or every county, but we provide it for the highly populated areas so we can support families in those areas. We have a toddler group, and that is in Ogden, Salt Lake, St. George, and soon Springville. So we're looking forward to our Springville building being set up soon so we can provide toddler group. That's for 18 months of age up to 3 years old when you exit the program. And a toddler group is a great way for parents to meet each other in a structured environment for the child. The child does activities with other toddlers, and siblings are invited to come. And toddler group is not required, but it's a great way for parents to meet each other and build relationships with each other and practice the strategies that they've been learning at home through their parent advisor. We also have story time. That's open to the public. Anyone can go to that. It's held at Barnes & Noble in 3 different cities. We have Layton, Murray, we also have St. George. I believe that one's held in the library in St. George. We're also hoping to soon have story time online. So anyone can access story time, doesn't matter where you live. We have playgroups throughout the state. This is a great chance for parents to meet each other and develop relationships with each other and compare strategies and talk about what works and what doesn't work. Talk about what they hope for their child, what they are trying to work on, what's frustrating. It's a great way to develop relationships with other parents. Then we also have statewide activities. We have 3 statewide activities a year. We have family camp, and that's coming up for us in June. We're emphasizing music this family camp. And we're also going to have cochlear companies there, and we'll have ASL support. And there's different sessions for parents to go to and see what fits best for their family, learn more about it. We have Parent Retreat, and this is where we collaborate with Blind Pip. We have different sessions for parents focusing on how to help with grieving, how to help with stress, and also how to support yourself, support others as you go through this process. So all of our services provide American Sign Language, ASL, and they also provide spoken language. That methodology is called LSL. So we provide all those services to our families. And again, all of our services are free. We also try to collaborate with many agencies so parents know all the resources out there. And let's see, there's a question really quick. What is the question? I don't see it on here. Okay, the question is, do you have to attend USDB if you receive PIP services? That's not the case. All of our services, our goal is to open the door for every child. You can go to the district, you can go to private, you can go to USDB. USDB stands for Utah Schools for the Deaf and Blind. And they have preschool for children starting at age 3. And that's an option for our families. Some families choose that, some families do not. So we try to leave all the doors open for the families so they can choose what fits best for their child. Some choose a district, or they choose homeschool, or they choose USDB. Let's see. So with our program, we try to find many resources through different agencies. You'll learn more about the Deaf Center through MIT. We also find resources through Gallaudet University and AG Bell. We try to have all our parents informed as much as possible. So who qualifies for our services? All you have to do is your child needs to fill 2 audiograms. Basically, we serve any child that's deaf, hard of hearing, or even children that have fluctuating hearing loss. Maybe they have fluid in their ear and they haven't quite passed an audiogram yet. So we can serve that child for a minimum of 1 year until it resolves itself. We serve all types of deaf children. Some have mild hearing levels, some have profound hearing levels, some just have 1 year unilateral. Some children have other medical conditions that they need to focus on, but they still want to receive services from us. So we serve every single deaf child in Utah. So if you want to find out more information about our program, you can go to usdb.org and you'll see information about all of USDB on that website. You can go to the Parent Infant Program there. And you can always email us at deafpipreferral@usdb.org. What else you should know about us is that we offer all the tools for the child. We have sign language and we have spoken language. Every child and family is different. I'm deaf myself. I use spoken language, English, and I also use sign language, and that one works for me, but my journey will be different from everyone else. So we try to fit every child and family and make it work for them. We want every child to succeed emotionally, academically, and socially. We want you have a strong relationship with your child and a great communication with your child. Yeah, and that's all I have. Yeah.
Hello, everyone. My name again is Mitch Moyers. I am the Outreach and Technology Specialist at with the Division of Services to the Deaf and Hard of Hearing. You're probably most familiar with us with our location, the Sanderson Community Center in Taylorsville. We also have a satellite program office in St. George, Utah. So our services cover the whole state of Utah. And to qualify, basically, to get direct services, need to be a resident of the state of Utah. But as far as our activities, classes, and other exciting opportunities to participate with the other community members, it's open for anybody who wants to come. So we've had visitors from other states as well, Nevada, Idaho, and far beyond. We've even had international visitors as well. So we're a very popular place, and we hope we can have an opportunity to come visit with us. For our services that we provide at the Sanderson Center, we also have a individualized services case managers. We have 3 people who do a wonderful job helping people with benefit planning, Social Security, helping with just simple things with reading a legal document and trying to make the right contacts, help with all types of levels of education and understanding of English. Help basically when ASL is the primary language for the users, it's nice to have a little backup to understand what the English document is talking about. We also have employment services, people who are looking for work and need benefits to be able to find work and to make the right connection with an employer to receive accommodations and other helpful information to succeed in their employment. We also have a hard of hearing program or late deafened program for individuals who lose their hearing over time or lose their hearing dramatically, either due to trauma or medicine or illnesses. Basically, it's kind of a grieving and isolation process that helps to bring support and understanding how to find a new way to communicate and integrate back into the community. They also teach basic sign language to give it a little extra option for communications. We also have the Outreach and Technology program, which is my program. Basically, we're kind of the PR center of the program, kind of going out and doing presentations such as this and giving information on deaf culture and accommodation, communication strategies, helping employers, emergency service personnel, educators. It's kind of a wide range of everything, just kind of share information for where they can get resources for people with hearing loss. We also help with assistive technology, helping with using the telephone if they have difficulty hearing, to identify sound in the environment, to be connected up with the new and trending type of technology available to help make understanding of communication and environmental sounds to be more clear. We also have in our center the interpreter certification program. They do a lot of testing and rating of new interpreters who are coming up and make sure they are certified to provide services in the state of Utah. They also have resources for mentoring and finding training. You can contact them through the Utah Interpreter Program's website, and you can get more information if you want to become an interpreter for the community. We also have a deaf education program, and this is kind of the biggest reason why the community center came into being almost a little over 25 years ago. A lot of people who were deaf and hard of hearing found it very difficult to find access at community centers, whether it's a sporting event, to participate in educational classes or crafts and other things that a lot of community centers throughout the state offers to the general public. However, we do the same exact thing pretty much with the understanding that communication will never be a barrier at our center. So whether you know sign language or if you don't know sign language, if you know other types of methods of communication, need cart communication, cued speech, lip reading, if you're deaf, blind, everything, we have different ways of providing the access to communication for those who want to participate in these events. So, pardon me. We also, I'm forgetting one more. We also provide the Sanderson Community Center, we have a large gym that are available for people who want to have sporting events. We also have several different rooms, a lecture hall. We have a courtyard for people who want to have social outings, barbecues. We also have a baseball field. We have lots of places to roam and play sports. It's pretty much a one place serve all for everyone who wants to come and be a part of the other members of the community with hearing loss and participate with one another. So if you get more information about our services, you can go onto our website. It's www.deafservices, all one word, .utah.org. You can find the listing of all of our events and classes that are coming up. You can read our newsletter that's provided monthly. You can read an overview of all of our programs if you have further questions. You could also go to our Facebook site, the Sanderson Community Center for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing in Utah. And on that Facebook page, we list very often all of the events that are coming up or currently happening. Even have pictures and stories about what happened in the past. It allowed community members to comment and to connect with one another and have different information that you may be looking for. The Southern Utah also has the same type of Facebook page available. They have classes and events happening down there. And you can check on our Facebook page for the Southern Utah Deaf and Hard of Hearing program. It's a great program that's been established over 10 years ago, and they're growing, and they're a very strong community down there as well. That is pretty much everything that we offer. As I mentioned before, all the services that you will see at the Sanderson Center, you can also find down in St. George. They also provide that type of service there. You can find that contact information on our website again at deafservices.utah.gov, and all of the contact information and resources available are found there. We have a question. I see one, Southern Utah, or maybe I have to scroll down.
But is there a fee for any programs you offer?
Any fee? That's a very good question. There are no fees. All of these services are paid for through your tax dollars. We are allotted an amount every year and provided for free of service for those who come. The only fees, basically, if you were to take a class and there was supply that you wanted to purchase that go with the class, maybe like an ASL book or something like that, that would be on your own choosing. It's not required, but that's the only thing we don't provide. Another question? Great question. We do have the Easter egg hunt that's coming up next month. If you look on our Facebook, just advertise there. We have an ASL class that's going on right now, and they'll be advertising soon for the next round that happens. Each class takes about 3 months, so we have new classes every 3 months or so. If you go to our website and click on programs and services, and look right below that, you see events and classes. You can see our calendar that we keep updated daily. You can click on the event and register immediately and be a part of that class. Our Facebook also lists all of the flyers that are the upcoming classes that are available for the public who would like to participate. And again, all of the services are free. There's no charge to attend, and we don't have any requirement for types of hearing loss that you have to come. It's open for everyone who wants to come, whether you have a family member who had the hearing loss or yourself learning more. The center is open for everyone who wants to participate. So. All right, thank you.
Hello, everyone. I am Nicole Martin. I am the Director of Sound Beginnings at Utah State University, and I am very excited to talk with you about the range of options that are available for families. And We at Sound Beginnings, we do serve families of children who are deaf or hard of hearing with a listening and a spoken language approach. And in our day of technological advances, it's really exciting to see what is available as options for parents. Just due to the newborn infant screenings, a family can learn even at birth if there is an indicator of a possible hearing loss, and then as in follow-up appointments to audiologists, if there's a confirmed diagnosis, then families really do have an opportunity, even if the hearing loss is indicated to be severe or profound, families do have an opportunity to seek amplification through a hearing device. Even, most people don't know, but even a 3-month-old or even younger can be fit with a hearing device. And so those auditory centers of the brain can receive access to sound even from the very beginning. At that point, parents, they have an option. And as Stephanie has shared with us, there's a range of services available to families in the state, and we're grateful for the PIP providers that help families to understand what the range of services are. But if a family chooses to pursue listening and spoken language, then we are also available to help support the intensive early intervention that can start right from the very beginning, right from the first months of life, to help families to know how to interact with their children to make that journey to acquire spoken language for their child an option for them too. So our hope is that as we work very closely with a family and their infant or their toddler or their young children, that we can work with the natural developmental milestones of acquiring spoken language, that we can help families to know how to support their infants and their toddlers and their young children to learn to listen with their hearing device, and then of course to learn to speak, and to do so in their home language, say if it's English or Spanish or any other language that might be part of their home culture, that is an option available for them. Our specialized services, we aim to do front loading of support for infants and toddlers and young children, so that the hope is that as they acquire language and as they acquire the social skills, that by the time that they reach the time to go to their neighborhood schools for elementary school, that they can be as close to typical development as possible, and that the need for expensive special education support that might otherwise be necessary would be minimized. Our program also serves as a training site for graduate students in the deaf education, the speech language pathology, and in the audiology programs. Our graduate students pursue their graduate programs, but then they also have a specialized set of classes that's an interdisciplinary collaborative model of study. And the professionals who serve in the Sound Beginnings program, whether they are the deaf educators again, or the speech language pathologists, or the graduate, the audiologists, they all have a master's degree or higher. Of course, the audiologist would have a at the doctorate level. But our professionals also, they also have completed the equivalent of an endorsement level of specialized study in listening and spoken language for children who are deaf or hard of hearing. And as well, they have either acquired a postgraduate certification from the Alexander Graham Bell Association for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing as a listening and spoken language specialist, or they are actively pursuing and are being mentored and are actively pursuing that certification while they are employed with us. And we had the benefit of having pediatric audiologists that are literally down the hall, around the corner, that work very closely with the interdisciplinary collaborative team, so that we can constantly look at how the children are hearing, and ensure that they're getting their optimal access to sound so that we can then teach them to listen to the full speech message and then acquire the language milestones that they require. If families are interested in our program, I do want to talk about the range of services that we have. We're welcome to bring families in for a tour of our program. We have both center-based and off-site based services, and I'll explain how that works for a little bit. We start with early intervention, as I was talking about, for families of infants and toddlers as soon as they're identified, either at birth or whenever they are identified, and children who are then aged birth to 3 years old can take advantage of home-based services, whether that comes in the form of one of our providers coming to their home and working with parents in their home, or directly in their home, or through teleintervention services. We have that available as well. Once a toddler turns 18 months, we have on our campus at Utah State University, we have a class for parents and toddlers to come twice a week. And families love having the connection of coming together and working with their toddlers together under the direction of a professional to teach them techniques to really optimize opportunities to infuse language in everything that they do, and to help families to make connections with each other. That support that they gain from each other really is very beneficial. We've had mothers who have told us that they feel very alone, and so that connection with other families is a really powerful one to do so. We also, once a child turns 3 years of age, they can enroll in our Sound Beginnings preschool class. We have small classroom sizes, and because we have the professionals of deaf educators and speech language pathologists, as well as graduate students, as well as having teacher assistants in the room, we enjoy a very high adult to child ratio in our classrooms, and take advantage of that. And then we also have as part of our school, a kindergarten classroom. And this classroom has half of the kids are kids with hearing loss, and the other half are typical hearing peers. The children that are in our preschool and our kindergarten classroom that are deaf or hard of hearing do not pay tuition. They're supported through grant fundings. But the children who are that come as hearing peers in our kindergarten class, they do pay a very low tuition fee to attend our small kindergarten class size. The children that are deaf or hard of hearing who are kindergartners also can take advantage of attending on Fridays. The kindergarten class that is in the charter school that's on campus, it's Edith Bowen. They can attend that kindergarten classroom on Fridays as well, so that they get an opportunity to mainstream in a much larger kindergarten classroom setting as well. We follow an academic calendar. Our school year closely models the nearby Logan City and Cache County school calendars, and our school has families have the option of enrolling up to from 8:30 to 3 o'clock, so they could do a part day or a full day for our classrooms. Something that families, whether or not you're enrolled in Sound Beginnings, that other families can take advantage of also is we have monthly family education and support group meetings, and professionals come and talk about audiological information or things that would be pertinent to education. But really families, again, they have that connection opportunity to really talk with each other and find out similar commonalities that they experience and find ways to problem solve together. Really, I'm grateful that we also, let me tell you this too, in June 6th and 7th, we have a summer camp for families of children who are deaf or hard of hearing who are pursuing a listening and spoken language approach. The ages For the children activities will be age 3 through teens. We've had so many families come back year after year that we actually did have to create a teen group set of activities. And then parents at the same time, they receive a set of professional educational seminars. These children's activities that are available not only for the children with hearing loss, but their siblings as well. And we'd like to invite all who are interested to come. It's a wonderful experience for families to get together. And I think we are running out of time, but it's been a delight to share these resources with you. And really, as families, I take my hats off to you and hope that you get the set of wonderful experiences in the state that are here for you, because as parents, you really have the most important influence on your child, and what you have to share with your child is the most important. And we salute all of you. Thank you.
Well, a huge thank you to Stephanie Morgan from the USDB PIT program, Mitch Moyers from the Sanderson Center for the Deaf, and Nicole Martin from the Utah State University Sound Beginnings program. We appreciate them giving up their time to be here with us today. Coming up next month on our WebinEARs on April 9th, we're going to be discussing some audiology myths. We'll have Doctors Amanda Pay and Renee Layton from the Riverton Primary Children's Hospital Clinic speaking with you on April 9th. And also, if you're a parent out there of a child who is deaf or hard of hearing, and we can assist you in any way, need a little bit of support, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can send us an email at eddyparents@utah.gov, and we'd be glad to do whatever we can to support you. Have a great day. Next time we see you, spring will have sprung.